of us known Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton discovered the three laws of motions, and this video show you how the three laws of motions help us in our daily life.
So for today, we're going to know what is the first law of Newton's law of motion, which is the law of inertia. So what is this law of inertia all about? An object will remain in a state of rest or continue to move with a constant velocity unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So how do we apply the law of inertia? So for example, we have here the needed materials, which is the glass, the coins, and the card. So example, place the card on top of the cup glass, then place the coin on top of the glass. After placing all materials, flip the card straight ahead. So my observation is that the external force has flipped the card away, but the coin drops vertically into the glass. Why? Because the inertia of the coin resists the change of its rest position. As a result, the coin does not move with and falls into the glass because of the gravity.
Now, let's move on to Newton's second law. As we knew from the first law that to overcome the inertia of an object, we need to apply the unbalanced force. But in the Newton's second law, the accelerating gaining speed go to the force and the force acts on the mass. The mass is the object. Now, let me show you the example of the second law of motion, which is rolling a ball on the table. The mass is the ball and the force is when I push the ball, and the acceleration is the change of the rate of the speed. It's either fast or slow. The equation of it is force is the product of mass and acceleration.
What is Newton's third law? Newton's third law, if an object A exerts a forces on object B, and object B exerts a forces on equal magnitude and opposite direction back on object A. You probably know that the earth pulling on you, but what might you not realize is that you are also pulling on the earth. This law represents as a certain symmetry and nature. Forces always occurs with pairs, and nobody can exert forces without experiencing forces itself. We sometimes refer to this law as a lawless action-reaction.
So now, I will give you an example about Newton's third law of motion, which is the law of interaction.
What happens when two objects interact with each other? What happens when you place an object on the table? The object exerts force on the table, and the subject exerts an upward force on the object. There are two forces that exerts from this interaction. The first one is the force on the table, and the second one is the force on the object. The magnitude of the two forces are the same, but the direction of the two objects are opposite. So the forces are called action force and the reaction force. The force exerted by the object on the table is called the reaction force, and the force exerted by the table on the object is called reaction force.
The example shows that in every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So that means when the two objects interact, the force of each object is also present. As you can observe a while ago, the magnitude of the first object is equals to the magnitude of the second object. So that means that the magnitude of the two objects are equals with each other. While talking about the direction of the first object is opposite to the direction of the second object. Always bear in your mind that the law of interaction is all about the interaction between two objects that gives equal and opposite reaction with each other.
And now, these laws of motion begin in our life to observe our emotion, even our force to do good in environment. So today, how Newton's law of motion works in you. Thank you and God bless.